I've read you somewhere saying that Western publishing companies tend to focus more on the digitization and the digital world than emerging markets. I want you to elaborate that a bit.
In the United States in particular, the digital reading habit has now taken hold. We have reached a sort of critical moment in the US, and the ebook has taken off and is exploding and is changing the economics of publishing in America for sure. We aren't yet at that point in India any more than actually we are in any other part of the world.
What about the United Kingdom and the rest of Europe?
It's still pretty small in the UK as well. The reason is that you have to have two conditions for the market to take off. You have to have a device that everybody wants to use and that has connectivity and so on. And you have to have a platform.
Right.
And what Amazon has done in the States with the Kindle and Apple has now done with the iPad is to offer the consumer both.
So will the iPad be the turning point where the digital readership is concerned?
I think it will vary market by market. I think there will be timing differences. But what the iPad allows you to do, and I should maybe not talk just about the iPad, but let's talk about tablets in general, that kind of technology, is to offer completely new kinds of content to readers. So we can make the content literally come alive on the screen. So it's not just the device itself that is mobile, but the content within it is mobile. So it will have community features, it will have interactivity. You can shake the iPad and stuff flies all over the place on the screen. It's redefining what is a book. It's enlarging the audience, but it's also enlarging the content. It's giving us opportunities to do new things.
So the old-fashioned collaboration between the author and the illustrator maybe at best, or the jacket design, the cover designer and the editor, will now include video game developers and programmers and all of that?
Yeah,
so
we're working on dozens of video games.
Already?
Yes.
And how deep is that, in that engagement at the back end to provide a new kind of reading experience because books are available digitally?
Well, we are working with gaming companies. We have people working on gaming inside the organization,
what kind of
or video. So we are already working in a multimedia environment for books. There's a risk of getting this out of perspective because 97% of what we sell is still the physical product, and we need not to lose sight of that. We need to ensure that the public romance with the book as an object remains as strong as ever, and that what we do is beautifully produced and designed and so on. But we are going to be moving steadily to a new kind of digital publishing model.
There are some figures that say 60% of your, a publisher's total revenues in 10 years' time would be from ebooks.
Who knows? I mean, the growth rates at the moment in the States are quite extraordinary. It wouldn't surprise me if 10% of our revenues in the US by next year were in the form of ebooks, and that's from nothing, effectively, 3 or 4 years ago. So quite where it levels off, it's very hard to say. I feel very optimistic about the physical format of the book market, though, because unlike the music business, which is being decimated by digital technology, there is a great affection for the physical book. People like to buy books. They like to give them away. They like to share them, put them on their shelves, to see them and to handle them. And that's not true with music any longer. Probably was true of vinyl albums years ago, but isn't true of the disc today. So we need to maintain that connection. And we're also selling the product that people want. The music industry was selling albums when actually people wanted to buy tracks, and then Apple discovered that what the consumer wanted was the track and not the album, and that's what people have been buying on playlists ever since. People don't want to buy books by the chapter. We seem to have got a product that roughly suits what it is that the consumer's after in the physical market, and we need to make sure that we do that in the digital market as well.
Would you be able to give us an idea of the kind of investments that that a group like Penguin is doing or making to be competitive digitally?
Well, we've focused on 2 categories of publishing since the announcement of the iPad launch, on children's illustrated publishing and on reference publishing, because we own the rights in most cases to all of those books, so that's simple, and they are in colour and they have opportunities for interactivity. So whether it be travel guides or reference books about the human body or Spot the Dog and Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh was the one book that was preloaded on every iPad in the United States to download for free when it launched. And there are things that you can do with this kind of content that wouldn't be possible with a physical book. So we're going to focus initially on those sorts of categories, but I'm also very interested in what we can do electronically with more traditional narrative form books. So how we can take a Penguin classic or a new volume of autobiography and make it more exciting in a digital environment.
Early April, there's been talk of the fact that Penguin, as have other publishers, especially in the USA, have reworked their prices for ebooks. And I think as we speak, Penguin books are not available on Kindle or on Amazon, or are they?
Some Penguin ebook, all Penguin books are available. All Penguin books are available on Amazon, and most of our ebooks are available on Amazon at the moment. What is happening in the States? So
that's still, the talks are still on. I'm guessing the negotiations are still happening.
Talking with everybody all the time.
Sure.
So the conversation that is happening between publishers and ebook vendors at the moment is about how you sell the ebooks. And who has an influence on pricing. And I was talking earlier about new kinds of content and the opportunity for publishers to be experimental. It's really only possible for us to do that if we can have a conversation with a consumer about what the consumer is interested in. We don't know if a video introduction to a book in an ebook format is going to have value to the consumer or not until we ask the consumer, and we can only do that really by testing price and analysing data. So that's what we need to do, and what the emerging model for the sale of ebooks is going to allow publishers to do in the US is to have that conversation. And that, I think, is going to be helpful to everybody, because if we are smart about it, it will increase the market for books, and it will increase the number of books that Amazon sell, and Apple sells, and that we sell. What
is this agency price model which the publisher fixes and the retailer now cannot discount? Explain that to me a bit.
Okay, well, under a traditional model, what you might call the retail model, and this is true of physical book selling and digital book selling, we determine what the list price of a book is, and then we sell the book to a retailer at a discount to that price, and then the retailer decides what the consumer price is. That's the sequence. Right. And in the case of Amazon and ebooks, there was a policy at Amazon that all best-selling ebooks would be priced at $9.99. That was Amazon's policy. So whatever the price at which the publisher sold to Amazon, Amazon sold at $9.99. Under the agency model, within certain parameters, the publisher sets the price, and then the vendor, whether it be Amazon or Apple or whoever, takes a commission on that price. So it's a sort of commission idea as opposed to a discount idea. So that's fundamentally the difference.
What is going to be the bigger challenge when it comes to ebooks? The pricing and getting that right so that it works for everybody in the chain? Or is it going to be digital rights? Because, you know, even as we speak, you have so many websites where we can download books. So there's digital piracy. And also authors may be wanting to sell their digital rights directly to online retailers.
Yeah. Taking the second one first, we think it's extremely important that digital rights remain connected to physical rights, because we would regard the ebook as another format of a book, like a paperback. And as publishers, we need to be, in the interest of the authors, agnostic about what the consumer chooses to buy. So if the consumer wants to buy the hardcover book, that's absolutely fine with us. We'll sell that. If they want to buy the ebook, that's fine too. If we have access only to the physical rights, or indeed only to the digital rights, then we cannot be agnostic in that way. So we've been very firm in saying, and I've been very clear in saying, that we regard digital rights and physical rights to books as indivisible. And we won't buy the physical rights to a book. Exactly. Well, we won't buy the physical rights to the book unless we have the digital rights to the book. So that's one issue. And then the second issue of piracy. It is a particular problem here in India, as you know. And it's been a problem for years in the physical book market, as we tell when we stop at traffic lights in Delhi and Mumbai, but it's also a problem in the digital market. And it's not just an Indian problem, it's an international problem, because a lot of the file sharing sites for documents are based here in India. So there is a proliferation of pirated content from India to other markets in the world. It's not a problem at the moment of epidemic proportions. It's not debilitating our industry the way in which it has the music industry. But it's certainly something that we need to remain very alert to, and we need to keep getting across the message to people that intellectual property is owned by somebody, and if you steal it, It's theft. And it's just like stealing somebody's car, only it's a book. And that's a message that is obviously tough to communicate, and all media organizations have to work at.
Do you have a Kindle?
Yes, I do have a Kindle.
Are you going to buy an iPad?
And I have an iPad waiting for me when I get home in London on Sunday. I'm very excited. I'm like a kind of kid with a new toy. I'm just waiting to get my hands on it. And I love the Kindle, and I've been reading on the Kindle for years now. And I have a Sony ebook reader, and I read on that as well.
And what was the last good book you read, John Makinson?
The last good book is a terrible, terrible question, isn't it? But I try when I'm in India to be reading books that are relevant. So I've been reading Fatima Bhutto and Pavan Varma while I'm here, both of which are Penguin books and very attractively priced and available in good bookshops everywhere.
And don't miss the marketing pitch. Thank you very much, and we wish you all the very best with the new brand and all of Penguin's plans in India.
Thank you. Very nice to be here.